The first major medical association in America has come out against gender transitions for children. The Washington Post is reporting that the American Society of Plastic Surgeons is now recommending that they delay face, chest, and other related gender transition surgeries until patients are at least 19 years old. This is major news, and I'm joined today by CBN's Raj Nair to break it down. Raj, this is the first time that we've seen a major medical association in America. All of these medical associations were previously saying that no politician should intervene, no politician should get involved to stop these surgeries. This is now changing with this guidance. What do you make of it?
Thank God. Thank God. I'm not going to beat around the bush with this one. Thank God. Let me talk really briefly biblically, and then I'll get to more political and opinions. But I mean, we have to start in Genesis. For God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. That is unambiguous. That is, if you want to look at the world from a biblical worldview, there's no gray area. That is just the way it is. But I think the fact that this was even a debate is okay. So here's the thing: the idea of minors, and I'm not going to be PC, being allowed to mutilate their bodies based on how they feel is just demonic. I did a quick Google search of things that you can't do until you're 18. Sign binding contracts, rent or buy property, open individual bank accounts, buy spray paint, fireworks, alcohol, tobacco, nicotine, adult rated movies, vote in elections, serve on a jury, marry without parental consent, move out of a parent's home, get tattoos, body piercings, go skydiving, book hotels, register for the selective service. Like the amount of things that you can't do, like trivial things like buy cigarettes. But the idea is you not only can you, but maybe you should and not tell your parents about you, like literally cutting off things of your body. I mean, I am so glad that this demonic nonsense is no longer kosher in mainstream media, where like the wave of this insanity, and I am not mincing my words, because that's exactly what it is, and it needs to be called out, and we need to be firm against this, because as a father of 3 children, this is abhorrent what we've allowed minors to do to their own body when they're so confused anyway. I mean, oh my gosh, like this is something that's and the fact that science has changed. Well, of course it changes. Science always changes. And so like follow the science. It's like, well, wait a minute until people have a minute to understand what's happening. So this is a great thing. This is a step in the right direction. And so again, if you can't rent a car, buy spray paint, or get a tattoo, but you can do these things to your body. I mean, it's just so blatantly obvious. I saw this comedian, and this might be a little coarse, but I saw this comedian do this whole shtick about how, well, why can't I give my kid testosterone so they're better athletes? And everyone's like, oh, you can't do that. It's like, but why? Like, if you can like literally give puberty blockers, cut off appendages, and give hormone blockers, but you can't give your kid who's 14 who wants to be better at football testosterone, why? And okay, this I know that this will be taken out of context. I know this will upset some people, but this is a healing moment in the history of our civilization. The fact that this demonic insanity is finally being at least not just wholeheartedly accepted is a good thing. Sorry, Billy. I mean, this is one of those issues where I am not going to try to be polite or PC, because this is one of those things where they're coming after our kids and us adults in the room. Like, we can't allow this to happen any longer. So I'll send it back to you, Billy, because as you can tell, I have a very heated opinion about this subject.
Well, I mean, it's absolutely abysmal after all of, and it's evil, it's demonic, as you said, after all of the lecturing about following the science. It turns out what's happening is the science now, you would think you would have the science before removing the breast from healthy young women, before pumping young people under the age of 18, pumping anybody with these, these medications that aren't even approved for the use of what they're being used for. Essentially, they're not tested. you would think that before you did any of those things, you would have evidence, right? To at least say, well, we have evidence to back it. What's happening is the evidence and the research is proving and telling them, hey, this is inconclusive. We don't even know that this is helping. And so you would think they would have known that before doing these surgeries. But let me read you part of the guidance here, that this new guidance that we're referring to, that actually came from the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. It says, in part, there is insufficient evidence demonstrating a favorable risk-benefit ratio for the pathway of gender-related endocrine and surgical interventions in children and adolescents. They're basically saying, we don't have evidence for this. And I would let everybody know that the American Medical Association and other groups, they very much, not that long ago, were essentially pushing back on any political state effort to crack down on gender transitions for kids, right? So all of a sudden, there's a change. Now, the American Medical Association, they have not put a statement out. Well, they did put a statement out. They haven't put new guidance out. But a spokesperson apparently told the Washington Post, quote, the evidence for gender-affirming surgical intervention in minors is insufficient for us to make a definitive statement. So all of a sudden, people's minds are changing on this in these medical associations. These are the people, and I feel probably more passionately than you do, Raj, so I'm going to contain myself. These are the people that when your children are sick, when you need advice, when a parent's child comes to them and says, my child thinks they're another gender, what do I do? Some of these doctors have said, your kid's going to kill themselves if you don't transition them. These parents have been manipulated, and it may be that it's with good intention, but they're wrong and it's evil. And so what we're seeing now is there is a change in the guard here. And I think we're going to see other medical associations come alongside what we see happening here with the ASPS. And so that's the hope that we can have, that there'll be some sanity from the people that we trust with the care of our children.